and thank you for joining me on the show today. This is the Now Talks, a collection of inspiring personal stories and leadership lessons from some of the world's most iconic leaders. It is the weekly podcast for women in leadership, brought to you by Nations of Women. My name is Dr. Tina Allton, and I'm your host for today and the coming weeks. Welcome again to another beautiful segment of the Now Woman podcast. And this week, I really want to get us as entrepreneurs to think about an experience that we had. Perhaps you might be new, or you already follow us on Nations of Women, and therefore you've heard our podcast before. It doesn't matter. But we just came back from Egypt, Cairo, having just finished our annual Women's International Leadership Summit and Gala Reward Celebration. And it was amazing. If you haven't been before, you're missing out. You really definitely want to have it on your calendar. It's normally between September, October each year. But that's beside the point. We had a great, amazing event. Because of something that happened, and it happened because of our choice of hotel. We worked this year with the Radisson Blu in Cairo. And oh my goodness, from the moment we started engaging with the team right through to when we left, it was something. I mean, admittedly, the beginning was a little tricky, but we straightened that up and connected with the leadership team, and when they took over to help us with our event, everything changed. And that's what I want to talk to us today about, about branding as entrepreneurs, what branding can do, and especially when you have a brand promise, or if you don't have a brand promise, then this is a good time to actually consider having a brand promise for your business. Now, their brand promise is yes, I can. And if you think of the word yes, I can, it's broad. It's so big. It's like, wow, do you even know what I'm going to ask? And you already say, yes, I can, right? So I was thinking, wow, that is a very, very powerful brand promise, but also really big. It's way too open. And then it happened that some of our team members were not able to make it because of visa challenges. They couldn't make it. And therefore, it's like, how are we going to do an event when our actual core team are not on the ground? And that's where Radisson shone so beautifully and so brightly, because they became our Nations of Women team. And brand promise for any business is very crucial. It's almost like the compass, right? Or if you think of a ship, a ship is controlled by a very small, tiny rudder that lies at the bottom of the ship. That's what steers it. That's what directs it. That's what, takes it into an iceberg or gets it to the dock safely. And so your brand promise is like your rudder for your ship. It's your compass. It's what, direct. It's like your sails, right? For everything. Sales, I don't mean SALES, I mean SAILS. For a ship, you need wind in your sails. So your brand promise does effectively that for you. And so why am I excited about that? Because in spite of the brand promise, and you can have you can have an extraordinary brand promise, but it really comes down to a number of things, which is what I want to break down for us today. Number one is leadership. It comes down to leadership. Strong leadership can help maintain, your brand promise. And that was something I saw all the way through and through and through when we, myself personally got involved. I reached out to the Radisson team. And a shout out, which I may well get in trouble for because I can't remember everybody's name, but Mr. Yasser, Mr. Mukhtar, Mr. Masood, Farah, Mr. Mohammed. There were so many Mr. Mohammeds that I can't remember all of your first names, but even Chef, Ali, everybody demonstrated such wonderful, not just wonderful, but really great and strong leadership. And strong leadership, what do I mean by that? A strong leader demonstrates understanding of the vision, knows how to clearly communicate that to the team, and doesn't just sit, but actually is part of what drives the team, directs the team, shows up, knows the way, and goes the way, right? There's a quote like that: a good leader knows the way, shows the way, and goes the way. And so all the team within Radisson demonstrated strong leadership. And also, to really achieve and live out your brand promise, you need strong leadership, you need good leadership, you need a team. The team makes the dream work. And even though our team couldn't make it, the Radisson team, because of the leadership, the good leadership, the strong leadership, were able to catch the vision of what we were about, what we wanted to achieve, and we're able to quickly assemble a team that were ready, willing, prepared, and capable to actually track with us and run with us, right? We were able to they were customer centric. They really had a customer centric approach, in the sense of they aligned their brand promise to our vision, our goal. I don't have a team. Can you help us? Yes, I can. I am by myself. Can you help us be able to communicate, our vision of what even the summit room should look like, the dinner table, the glasses, the wine selection, the food selection, the salad, whatever, napkins, plates, glasses, everything. Yes, I can. They were very, very much focused on us. They paid strong attention to detail, to what mattered to us, and made that something that mattered to them as well. And brand promise, you do need to measure success. How do you know that you're keeping your brand? And it's in the feedback. And right from our team, not our team, but our delegates being picked up from the airport to come into the hotel. One lady said, as a woman, I've never traveled outside of my country before. Just being met at the airport, being helped, and being brought to the hotel at that time of the night, you made me feel safe. You made me feel that I was secure, and that it was the right time for me to travel. I'm in the right place, and so forth and so forth. Obviously, I'm not giving the full feedback, but that is a way of measuring, are we being successful, right? And so if you don't have a brand promise, it's very critical. It's like having a ship without a rudder. There's no steering, there's no direction, there's no course for, how are you moving forward? How are you running your business? How is your brand, being tested, right? So you want to think about it. It's a crucial piece for any business. As entrepreneurs, think about, what is it that you're really good at? What is the stress test your business can withstand? What is that brand promise? And then build strong leadership that is able to understand the fullness of that vision, of that brand promise. And a team, a strong leadership ultimately helps to provide the information, share the vision with the team that is ready, willing to work, be customer centric, be focused and committed and dedicated to what is important to your customer, to your clients, and make that something that's also important to you. And set up a common route, a way of being able to measure, is this being successful? Is what we're doing really living up to our brand promise? And practical ways to do that is clear communication. Everybody on the team needs to understand what is the brand promise. And that's something I saw all the way through Radisson, from, going to breakfast in the morning, the chef, the waiters, the waitresses, they all seem to have a very good understanding of what the brand promise was, from housekeeping to, reception desk, everywhere we were in the hotel. And I noticed it wasn't just with me personally or our delegates, but all the other, hotel guests. There was a real willingness and a desire to help, to be kind, to be bright and cheerful, right? And that for me demonstrates that as a brand, the promise, the brand, the heartbeat of the brand is clearly communicated, and every team member understands what that means and how to live that up. Regular check-ins I saw for our event, they were, very, very consistent in checking in, checking with myself, the team, the leaders, making sure that everything was as planned. And even when plans were changing, they were very quick to help us to direct, to embrace it, to take it. So that is another practical way of ensuring you live up your brand expectations and experience. Customer feedback, be asking them, actively seek and apply feedback that will help you to continuously improve. Accountability, have a setup and hold your team members accountable for maintaining the brand promise. That was something they held us accountable, and we held them accountable. They were checking in, whether it was myself or Bridget or any of the other team members. We were all able to, even though it may not have been communicated or spoken, but there was that freedom, there was that opportunity to ensure that there was accountability on both sides, that hey, this is our vision as Nations of Women. This is the brand vision and the brand promise for Radisson. And it was just wow. I've worked with many hotels, but this one was exceptional. And so to help you as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a leader, what is the promise that you make, as far as your brand is concerned? And it's not just a marketing slogan, it's a commitment to your customers. So what commitment are you making to your customers as far as your business, as far as your brand is concerned? That's what I want you to think about. Leadership matters. Strong leadership is crucial to maintain a good brand promise through and through. So look at your own leadership. Is there areas in your leadership that you need to grow in, that you need to develop, that you need to strengthen? I don't know, maybe for yourself or maybe for your team. And team cohesion, a united team is essential for delivering on your brand promise. You cannot deliver all by yourself. You need a team. So if you're by yourself, it's going to be really hard. It's time to think about how can I build a team that can really understand, what I'm about, what's my brand, what's my promise, what's my commitment to my customers, my clients, right? And have a focus that is solely focused on what is important to your customer. Now, of course, I don't mean all the petty things, but really get to know what is important to your customer, what is important to your clients, what are the expectations that they have in mind. Have a clearly communicated expectations, because unmet expectations really leads to anger, resentment, and bitterness. And you don't want that from your customers or your clients. So be customer focused, understand what's important to them, what are the expectations, communicate that clearly, and then embrace that. And, again, share that with your team. Continuous improvement. We all as a business have to be constantly looking at how can we innovate, how can we maybe check our effort, what needs regular evaluation and adjustment. And the truth in business is whatever gets measured, right? Whatever gets measured gets repeated, right? Whatever is measured is repeated. Whatever is measured is successful. So if you're not measuring how you yourself are doing in your leadership, then there is a few questions there, right? So this podcast is, although it's short, but I just wanted to share our experience of the Radisson Blu in Cairo and how that really got me thinking about the importance of having a brand promise for your business as an entrepreneur, or a brand promise for, again, as a leader. And essentially, all that means is what is the commitment you make to your customers, to your clients, to those that you're called to serve? What is the commitment you make to them? And how are you holding yourself accountable? How are you working that commitment out? So I thank you, Radisson. If you're in the hotel industry or in the hotel industry, or tourism or leisure industry, we thank you because you do really make a big difference in the success, in this case, in the success of our event. The Radisson team, the strong leadership, living out the brand promise enabled us to have a very successful event. And so I want to hear from you. What is your own experience? What is your own brand promise? Do you even have a brand promise for your business or as a leader for your team? What are your experiences? Have you ever had a brand break their promise to you? Or have you perhaps been the one on the other side where you did not keep a promise to your customers or to your clients, right? Do you always actually keep your promise to them? If you don't, then perhaps it's time to reevaluate that, because as a brand, when you're able to, stay committed to what you're about, the heart of who you are, think again like the compass. The compass is what directs how you're moving and how well you're going to be moving. So how well you live up to what your brand is, who your brand is, the promise, the commitment you make to your customers ultimately impacts your bottom line. So I want to hear your story. Have you kept your brand promise? Have you broken your brand promise? Or maybe it was the other way around. Which brand has truly made your day? Which brand have you experienced that really just made such a big difference to you? I want to hear that. And I hope you're going to say Nations of Women, because I know that we really do live out our brand of making sure that you're inspired, you feel empowered, you feel connected in everything that we do. So until next time, I look forward to hearing your own stories. Take care. And that's all for this week. You've been listening to Dr. Tina Allton with the Now Talks, the weekly podcast for women in leadership, brought to you by Nations of Women. All that remains is for me to say have a fantastic week, stay safe, and reach out if you need any help now at nationsofwomen.com. Until next time, enjoy the pursuit of your potential, and remember, now is your time.